What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Paul. This is the Leeds Therapy. Thank you as ever for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. I hope you're doing well. If you haven't done so already, if you could hit the subscribe button for me, if you could like the video, if you could turn your notifications on. Any comments that you want to make, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. And if you want to, you can also share the video for me as well. That will really help with the algorithms and getting everything out there. So, as you can probably tell from my voice, I was there last night at the game. The game finished 2-1. It's definitely what I would call a game of two halves. I'd love to give you some in-depth detail with regards to how we played for the first two goals, but I couldn't because the traffic was that bad that I missed the two goals. Yet again, that is something that seems to happen to me all of the time. I managed to get there late, and we unfortunately, or I should say, unfortunately missed the two goals. But from replays that I've seen, we started off like a house on fire, like an absolute house on fire. And the goalkeeper, Balkman, gifted us the first one, kind of flapped at it. It was like a cross-come shot from Ramazani, and then palmed it kind of out-ish once it was over the line, kind of thing. And then for the second goal, he pushed it out into an area where Aronson was, and Aronson, birthday boy, put the ball into the net to make it 2-0, and everything was going fantastically well. And then the Mancunian midget realised that something was going wrong in terms of how they were playing and what they were doing. What Watford were doing were giving us a lot of the ball, and then they kind of realised that wasn't going to work. So the Mancunian midget decided to change it round, and it kind of worked a little bit. But we dominated the first half without really doing loads and loads. Nonto had a couple of efforts. Thought Nonto was playing well. Sadly, Rabazani had to go off in the 13th minute. I'm hoping it's just either an impact injury or just something that's slight, rather than it being something really serious. But with us, you kind of know how that goes. So I've heard twisted ankle potentially. So we'll just have to wait and see how that pans out. I was in the Kop end, so that was quite good to watch. But overall, they all of their pressure was coming down our right-hand side or their left-hand side, pretty much. So anything that they did, there wasn't very much that that our defence had to do. Our defence was reasonably solid in the first half. Midfield was fine. The attacking lineup was fine overall. Then we go in at half-time. Everybody's calm, everybody's cool, everybody's collected, and quite clearly Watford had a rocket put up their arse at half-time. And I think it's fair to say they came out more on it than what we did, and we were struggling slightly. They score an early goal. Meslier, the attacker beat Struijk like he wasn't there. It's probably the only time I've ever seen that happen to Struijk. Got past him, fed the ball into the middle. It came off Meslier, bounced off Rodon, then back to the attacker again, and then he put it in the back of the net. It was a goal born out of fortune and a bit of misfortune from us, rather than any type of bother getting past Struijk, individual skill, if that makes sense. So we, as fans, were all getting very anxious in the ground because we just didn't seem to be picking it up. They were really on it for sort of like the first 15, 20 minutes without really threatening loads in the second half. So consequently, we were all kind of like, we were all getting frustrated. We were sitting back, from what I could see, a little bit too deep in terms of how we were playing overall. Then Farke made two substitutions in the usual 70th minute. He brought on Dan James and he brought on Mateo Joseph, and instantly that kind of wrestled the control back to us again, because we had a more forward-thinking, attacking player in James, who was occupying their right back a lot more and gave a lot more space overall. And then we kind of just sort of professionally saw the game out. We managed the game a lot better from that point and just kind of really professionally saw it out. Joseph should have scored from the header. How he doesn't score, I don't know. It was an absolutely delicious ball from James. James had a shot really, really well saved, and there was another really good save in there as well. Bogle, don't know how, but his cross smacked off the post, the inside of the post as well. So his cross come shot that. So we should have been completely out of sight, but we professionally finished off the game. So we didn't win. So talking about the players individually, You've got the defence was pretty much fine. Firpo's got another yellow card, so that means he misses the next game. Meslier, apart from flapping at the ball a couple of times and a couple of times chasing the ball and not picking it up and everybody screaming at him to pick it up, fine overall, a bit flappy at a couple of bits and pieces. Bogle was okay, went absolutely pile driving in at the end, so to get a tackle and missed it completely, so I'm not sure what was going on there. Ramazani was fantastic at the start, and then unfortunately he got his knock and had to come off. Solomon, who came on in his place, I don't think played particularly well. And I think he struggled with... They're two very different players, Ramazani and Solomon, in terms of how they play. And you've got to remember that Solomon is still coming back from injury at the same time as well, so he will be a little bit rusty. He got better as the game went on before he got substituted, but other than that, overall, absolutely fine. Bogle was fine. Wasn't, a couple of decent crosses in, defended pretty well, was strong. Then Nonto was good in the first half. In the second half, he was kind of looking like he couldn't just get his legs going in a couple of occasions and was struggling with the pace of the game a little bit. I don't know if he's still suffering from that shoulder injury. So he was good in the first half, not so good in the second half, I would say. Peru, not brilliant. His hold-up play needs to be a little bit better. Instantly, when Joseph came on, you could see that the hold-up play was miles better. And then Rothwell was okay, not as good as what he was against Sheffield United, but he was absolutely fine. Tanaka is just... I cannot wax lyrical enough about how we got him for under 3 million. I will never, ever know. Unbelievable player. He was everywhere. He was tracking back, last-ditch tackles, putting calmness into the defence when picking up the ball, passes, movement, just everything about his game tonight was phenomenal, just brilliant. And that's what we want to see. We want to keep seeing those types of performances from him. And he's just, for me, he's just a special, special player overall. So... Byram came on as well towards the end for Solomon, which I think was just to shore everything up. And then we kind of saw the game out and we managed the game, like I said, pretty well. Overall, stressful, but it's another 3 points. We sit joint top for now, and we move on to the next game against Bristol City. So I would expect some changes from Bristol City, if I'm completely honest, but I'll get into a preview for that later on down the line. But overall, a happy performance because we win and we move on to the next one. The big thing is we're not always going to dominate and smack teams about. We are going to sometimes have to grind out results, and we did that last night. I mean, we had to put up with everything from Watford. The feigning of injuries to get more extra time so they could... So when they brought on their substitutions, they'd get more time on the pitch because obviously there was 10 minutes of extra time. Players kept falling over and nobody picking it up, all of that kind of stuff. It was infuriating, and the ref was being played for a bit of a mug at times, but we got the result that we wanted, which was the 3 points. That's the main thing. That's going to do it for this one. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, click the like button. If you're new to the channel, please also subscribe, notifications on, share the video far and wide, and any comments that you want to make, please feel free. Leave them in the comment section down below. And relax. Take care of each other. Most importantly, take care of yourself, and I will see you on the next one. Cheers.